what's going on. They're making me wait here. They're telling me I'm not allowed to leave the building. And there's a bank in my office building. I leave at 2, but I stayed a little late today, and as I was trying to leave, the officer said, stay there, and I'm not allowed, he's not letting me walk out. So I'm thinking maybe there's some kind of robbery going on. Apparently, I see the guard there. I don't know why they do that. I wonder if I can leave. I don't know. She was probably just a crazy lady. I wonder if I should just run out. Okay, they're letting the people leave. Okay. Maybe she was just a crazy lady. I don't know. Okay. Hello, everybody. I've been thinking about doing, since this is a ramble channel, and I usually am in bed, and it's usually when I'm just relaxed and I don't feel like putting on makeup, or, it's usually after, it's usually at nighttime when I'm going to sleep. Oh, excuse me, I just yawned. I usually record these rambles when I'm in bed and I'm sleepy, but I can't sleep. It's like I'm tired and I want to sleep, but I'm so whatever, maybe I have too much stuff going on in my head and I can't sleep. And then it just occurs to me to do a ramble. And maybe talking about whatever I'm thinking about sometimes helps me go to sleep. Even if I don't end up uploading it, but I get things off my chest. But I've been thinking about I have a blog talk account. Blog talk is a channel, it's like YouTube, except instead of videos, it's recordings, it's voice recording of whatever, the person wants to talk about. And some people actually have shows, so it becomes like a radio show. But I've been thinking of doing that instead of, for rambles instead of YouTube, because since usually I don't feel like getting on camera, and I kind of feel funny about recording a video where you're just not going to see anything, which is why sometimes you'll notice I put pictures up and I try to get a little more creative. But on the other hand, editing and all that is kind of a pain. So blog talk, blog talk is just your voice, it's a voice recording, and many times it's live, and you can even get phone calls. Like, I don't know how it works, but there's a phone number attached to your account. So it's not your real phone number, it's a fake phone number, but it rings to your cell phone. So people don't have your real phone number. They call that number, and it rings to your telephone, and then your conversation is recorded on the blog talk show or recording, but it's live. So, people do call-in shows, and whatever, discuss a topic, and people call in. So, excuse me. So I've been thinking about doing that, and that way then the listeners could also call in if they wanted to. Now, I obviously shouldn't probably do a show when I'm too sleepy, maybe it could be just, but see, well, it doesn't have to be a show about anything, but I guess it helps for it to at least have a topic decided before you just go on the show, turn it on. But I listen to other people's blog talks, and sometimes they'll have a show topic, and they, like maybe the show's 2 hours, but they only spend like 10 minutes talking about the actual topic, and then people start calling in and they just go off on these tangents, which is something I often do when I'm talking, you know, on these rambles. And so the rest of the show is just about everything but the topic that it was supposed to be about. You can, if you can't listen to the show when it's live, the recording stays up there and you can listen to it, later. So it's like YouTube. You could do a live YouTube show, and if the people couldn't happen to be on listening at that time, they could listen to it later. Like Google Hangouts, they stay on your YouTube recording. I have a luncheon tomorrow. My office is having we're going to a restaurant for a Christmas luncheon, which I'm really excited about. But if I don't get any sleep, I'm going to look terrible because it's a fancy restaurant. And so, I want to look halfway decent. I'm going to get a little more dressed up than normal. I still have to dress for work. Oh, excuse me. I still have to dress for work, but, it's going to be a little dressier than normal. I mean, I usually have to be kind of dressy because I'm the receptionist. We receive a lot of people, so I have to greet them, show them to the conference room, offer them coffee. I do other stuff too, but part of my job is reception, greeting, and attending to the clients that come in, or the visitors. And I like that. It's kind of nice. It's the easy part of the job. The hard part is, well, there's not really any hard part. It's a pretty easy for me job. It's not an easy job for someone who doesn't have a lot of experience in office work, but I mean, to me, it's just so easy. I've been working as a secretary since I was just out of college, basically, on and off, but mostly on, except when I was married, I was off. And for a little while, I was working in those people at supermarkets that offer food samples. I was one of those for a while. That was pretty fun. That was in D.C. when I decided I was sick of the corporate, stuff. And, like you get into a phase where you're sort of like, I'm not saying I was a hippie on the outside, but inside I was like, oh, F the corporations and all this capitalist society and all that. And then, like, I ended up working fine. It wasn't a huge corporation, but I was still, working in big supermarkets. It was actually fun. I liked that too, but I just didn't earn enough money to live on. And I ended up going to a temp agency, and the temp agency sent me back to the corporation that I had been working for as an employee before. And the people were like, "Oh, how far we've come." They were kind of joshing with me. I mean, they were my coworkers from before, and they weren't doing it to be mean. They were sort of, joshing me. I didn't take offense when they said that. I laughed with them. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm over that phase. I get, but I mean, I didn't last either in any job because I've always quit. Anyway, sooner or later, I end up quitting because I got tired or I got bored or so. So anyway, so today I'm in a corporation with no benefits, but that's directly because of the decisions I've made in my life. Deciding to fall in love with this man that everybody was telling me was wrong. And, you can't stop your heart. Nobody can reason with your heart. when you fall, you fall. And I mean, there are some people a little bit wiser when they fall in love, but that's one thing that it's really hard to reason with someone who's fallen in love.
I think it's in the works, a metro mover, at least the plans are there, that goes across the water to the actual Miami beach. We're on the mainland over here. So here's the Holdout house coming up. You may be interested in seeing. I'm a little out of breath because I'm walking fast. I still have a bit of the adrenaline left over. See, this teeny little house, which is very artistic, you know, and he's got all these paintings, and he actually has a website. It says YouTube. Oh no, he has YouTube Art 87, a glance beyond the art. Save the Everglades. Huh. It's almost like a tourist attraction, but he doesn't he should start charging admission. He probably will at one point. See, it's all artsy, and it's just like a little sort of a shotgun shack, but a little bigger than a shotgun shack. I probably shouldn't be filming it. He probably wouldn't like that, but it's so cool. And at one time he had a little dog. I mean, I've been walking by here for years because I often used to get temp jobs downtown. Anyway, and here's the 7-Eleven right next to it, and there's the train. That's the metro rail up there. But I'm going to try to take the free trolley, even though it's only $2.25 to get home, but I'm not in a